The royal town of Sutton Coldfield has existed for hundreds of years and is steeped in history. Like most places, it has undergone considerable changes over the years, but many of the historic buildings in the town centre have survived intact, and the keen-eyed visitor can pick them out among their modern counterparts. Sutton Coldfield Civic Society has produced a town trail, which highlights many of these buildings. The trail starts to the south of the town centre on Birmingham Road, with the Horse and Jockey pub. There has been an inn on this site for over 250 years, and the name is thought to derive from a racecourse which once existed nearby. The smithy is one of the oldest buildings in the town, dating from the 15th century. It possesses massive crook timbers, which were an early form of construction. The building has been a farmhouse, a workshop, and is now used as an art gallery. Shakespeare Cottage on Maney Corner is late Elizabethan and has altered little, though its next-door neighbour has been substantially enlarged and modernised. Sutton's only surviving cinema, the Empire, was built as part of the Odeon chain in the 1930s in the popular Art Deco style. Vesey Manor was originally Bragg's Farm and has undergone many alterations and additions. It is now home to an antiques business. The Cup Public House laid claim to be the oldest inn in Sutton, but was completely rebuilt in 1902 in mock Tudor style. It survived as a pub until 2013, when it was transformed into the Cambaz restaurant. Directly opposite is the Cottage Hospital, which was completed in 1907 and served as the town's main hospital until the 1940s. The road outside was the scene of an interesting experiment with the installation of an early version of the pedestrian crossing. The parade has been the central shopping area for generations, but our Victorian forebears would hardly recognise today's Grace Church Centre. Further along the parade is the site of the former Empress Cinema, which opened in January 1923 and was later enlarged to seat over 1,300 patrons. It was demolished in the early 1970s and replaced by what is now the Red Rose Shopping Centre and Sutton Library. Towards the top end of the parade is the Baptist Church, which was built as Sutton Town School in 1826. As the road curves to the left, we enter Mill Street, and off to the left again is Park Road, the main road into Sutton Park, and where the United Reformed Church is the lone survivor from Sutton's Victorian commercial area. It stands today minus its tower and hemmed in by modern buildings. Returning to Mill Street, we see the Gate Inn on the corner of Park Road. Opposite is the original town hall, dating from 1856, which is now the Masonic Hall. At the top of Mill Street, leading to Holy Trinity Church, is Church Hill, which was originally the centre of a small community consisting of numerous houses, shops and 2 pubs. This area was demolished in 1938 to make way for Vesey Gardens, the view of which is virtually unchanged today. Running alongside Vesey Gardens is Coleshill Street, which contains the picturesque Lichgate of Holy Trinity Church. On the east side of Coleshill Street there is this attractive row of cottages and 1 3-storey house, all of which are Grade 2 listed buildings. Returning to the main road, we find ourselves at the bottom end of High Street. Many years ago there was a very unusual building here, nicknamed the Pepper Pot, which contained a public weighbridge. The charges were 2d for carts and 4d for wagons. Apart from the disappearance of the Pepper Pot, this area has changed remarkably little. Many of the properties in High Street appear on the statutory list of historical buildings. One of these is Vesey House, which used to be the home of Agnes Brooks, author of the first history of Sutton Coldfield in 1860. The frontage has been considerably altered to be used as shop premises. The Three Tuns Hotel was formed by combining two adjoining houses in the 18th century. The archway originally gave access to the rear for coaches. The black and white timbered cottages on the left were demolished to make way for Railway Road, leading up to the train station. The first branch line of the London and North Western Railway from Birmingham reached Sutton in 1862 and was largely responsible for the rapid expansion of the town. Surprisingly, the original terminus of the line can still be seen as part of the station car park. The Railway Terminus Hotel was opened in 1865 to cater for the anticipated influx of tourists, which failed to materialise. It then became a sanatorium before finally being purchased by Sutton Council in 1902 for use as offices, and was later extended to accommodate the town hall and fire station. The square in front of the town hall is the location of Sutton's War Memorial, erected to commemorate those who fell in the First World War. It was designed by Francis Doyle Jones, paid for by public subscription, and was unveiled in 1922. It is still the scene of the Remembrance Sunday service each November. Continuing our journey northwards from the town centre, many of the original houses lining the High Street have been gentrified and several turned into shops and offices. The present Royal Hotel was built as a private house in the mid-1700s and only became a pub much later. The final leg of the trail enters Lichfield Road. The Moat House was built in 1690 in the Palladian style by William Wilson, a contemporary of Sir Christopher Wren, and was later used as Sutton Coldfield Teachers' Centre. The art school was opened in 1904 as a new technical school for the borough, and is now part of the nearby Sutton campus of Birmingham Metropolitan College. Named after one of Sutton's greatest benefactors, the Bishop Vesey Grammar School was originally founded in the 1540s and moved to its present location in the early 18th century. The view of the school used to be obscured by the Swan Inn, which was mentioned in a journal of 1782 when a Herr Moriarty, a German traveller, stayed for supper, bed and breakfast and was charged 1 shilling. What he thought of the town is not recorded. Our final view of Sutton is an early prospect from the tower of Holy Trinity Church. The only modern reference to the original photo which can be made is the roofline of the Masonic Hall. So Sutton Coldfield has changed considerably over the years, but as we have seen, a large number of historically significant buildings have survived. Sometimes though, you may need to look above and beyond the modern additions to appreciate them.